This week on Fields of Glory, we'll head to the great state of Oklahoma, to the home of the Sooners of Oklahoma University, where the tradition of winning never gets old, and champions are found both on and off the football field. Get ready to experience Sooner magic, coming up next on Fields of Glory. 18 miles south of Oklahoma City is the city of Norman, home of Oklahoma University.
Abner Norman got off the train and said, I think I'll put up some stakes in 1889, and there was Norman. They named it after Abner Norman right over here just off Main Street. So the school came along a year later, and football came along 5 years after that.
Norman, really extending throughout the state of Oklahoma, is built on the quality of its people. They're absolutely fantastic, and you don't go too far in any given day without running into somebody that reminds you how lucky you are by living in a place like Oklahoma, and obviously right here in Norman.
Today there are around 31,000 students at Oklahoma University, and it is Norman's largest employer. OU's programs and initiatives are quickly establishing it as a pace setter for public higher education in America.
I think Oklahoma's reputation as a university has really been enhanced. College of Law, College of Engineering, both exceptional programs. OU is making a name for itself academically, and much of that's a recent phenomenon.
The University of Oklahoma is about a really commitment to excellence. President Boren, we have an incredible president that really expects that and demands that from everybody throughout the university, a commitment to excellence and doing the very best you can and continuing to grow as a program and improve as a university.
I guess the best way I would say is in the last 10, 15 years, the University of Oklahoma has gone from a major university to really an exciting, hot-button place.
The most historic building at OU sits on the south end of campus. Oklahoma Memorial Stadium at Owen Field opened in 1923. It's named after Benny Owen, OU's first successful coach.
Owen Field used to be a simple little stadium. 61,000 seats when I was a kid. 3/4 of a bowl, the white brick facade on the sides, and it was a very simple structure. It wasn't an awesome building. Now you walk in, it's awesome.
I have pictures from many, many different years and how it's changed, where it started from. A guy sent me one, I can't tell you what year. There were just some stands on the sides, so it was way back. So it's had a great, evolution.
The great Benny Owen, who had come to Oklahoma to coach football in 1905, was also the athletic director. And by the early 1920s, Benny had a great vision, and that was to build a stadium for Oklahoma. The first football game was played in 1925. There were no permanent seats, really, until 1928. The stadium was improved again in the mid-30s, and it was done so by lowering the field 8 feet. They excavated the stadium floor and put seating at the bottom of the stadium rather at the top. So the stadium that we know today is 8 feet below ground level. The north end was bowled in the 50s, and for many years the stadium's seating capacity was 61,000. The south end remained open. It was a horseshoe. There were bleachers in the south end zone along with the scoreboard. Most recently, in the last 24 months, the east side of the stands have been decked, and many beautiful suites have been added, and raising the capacity now to over 80,000.
It's one of the greatest places to play. Fans are great. The atmosphere is wonderful on game day. It seems like all the great games happen here. A lot of great history here. A lot of great players played on this field, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
This is the same piece of grass that the 1925 Sooners played on. This is when OU went to the Orange Bowl, 1939. This is where they played and practiced. And, when Bud Wilkinson got here in '46, this is the field he used. It's a sense of place And I think that's a wonderful thing about college athletics, and Owen Field embodies that sense of place as good as any place in college football.
The Sooners were playing football before Oklahoma even became a state. Great history with a great tradition.
The biggest tradition is the tremendous amount of success that has occurred in the last 57 years since Bud Wilkinson started his great run here in 1947 on through the Fairbanks and the Switzer years and now into the Stoops years.
Well, the football team, the tradition is upheld by working hard, you know. A lot of guys up here, they've worked hard to the point where, you know, there's nothing left. And, you know, that's what it's all about.
Oklahoma holds the NCAA record for most consecutive wins by a major college program at 47 straight. The streak spanned 5 seasons from 1953 to 1957.
Well, November 16th, 1957 was probably the most historic day in Oklahoma football. That's the day Notre Dame beat OU 7-0, ended the 47-game winning streak, and reminded people that Oklahoma could lose.
And the fans cried. My mother cried. I was listening to it on the radio and I cried. And this was the common reaction to a very unsuspected loss. The Sooners were deemed invincible in those days. And my father tells me that after the final gun, people stood in silence expecting the Sooners to somehow miraculously come back onto the field and win the game.
Some say there is something in the air in Norman, Oklahoma, Sooner magic.
Sooner magic relates, I believe, most importantly to the understanding of the importance of people we are all associated with. There's a common saying around here that great teams happen because people know what it takes to be a great teammate. That is what Sooner magic is all about.
Coming up on Fields of Glory, the pride of Oklahoma is much more than just a feeling at OU.
What we are is a bunch of guys that are crazy fans for OU. We're in charge of doing the Sooner Schooner, shooting off the shotguns and just going crazy.
And we'll take a look back at some of the great players from Sooner past. Just outside of Memorial Stadium behind the south stands, you'll find the Barry Switzer Center, named for one of OU's legendary coaches. Here, the rich history of Sooner football is told through photographs and artifacts, stories of some of the greatest teams ever to play the game, along with the seemingly endless list of coaches and players who brought glory to both the university and the state.
I came here knowing and recognizing it was one of the great traditions in college football. I knew what Bud Wilkinson had accomplished in his coaching career here. I became head coach in 1973, and because of what he had accomplished and the great tradition that he built at the University of Oklahoma, I inherited that, and it was our responsibility to hopefully continue it. And we were able to add to it, and we built, along with what he laid the foundation for, one of the greatest traditions in college football.
One of college football's greatest programs has been built on some of college football's finest players. Names like J.C. Watts, Roy Williams, and Brian Bosworth brought plenty of excitement to Memorial Stadium. 4 Sooners have been awarded the Heisman Trophy. Quarterback Jason White in 2003. He set school records for touchdown passes in a season with 40. In 1978, running back Billy Sims set a Big 8 single-season rushing record with 1,896 yards. Oklahoma's first Heisman winner was another running back, Billy Vessels, back in 1952. The Sooners' spacious state-of-the-art locker room is filled with reminders of the OU tradition of success. It's this motivation that every player brings to Owen Field each and every game.
Traditionally, what we have had is hard-working guys that are tough, that are physical, normally athletic in the way we run, and speed has always been something that we stressed here through the years, and not just with our teams, but you go back through the years, but more than anything, I think toughness and playing physical and having an attitude.
College sports fans are hard-pressed to find a nickname that is as unique as a Sooner. What's a Sooner anyway?
Well, a Sooner is the people that came in for the land run. No.
The Sooners comes from the land run of our state. They opened our state with a shotgun blast. And the people that left with the shotgun blast were called boomers, from the boom of the shotgun. And those that got in a little bit early, a little bit of a head start, those were the Sooners.
To be a Sooner to me means to be the best you can be, to be the best athlete, to be the best student, to be the best person you can be. And that's what I'm still striving to be, is to become a complete Sooner.
There's a lot of sayings about it, though. Like, it's been some jokes saying the sooner you get here, the sooner you get beat, so.
During Oklahoma football games in the early years, Mex the dog was the team mascot. Today, OU has one of the most recognized mascots in college athletics. The Sooner Schooner, a Conestoga or covered wagon, honoring the mode of travel used by the pioneers who settled Oklahoma. Powering the schooner are two white ponies named Boomer and Sooner. Every time the Sooners score, they take a victory ride around Owen Field.
When you score, you see the schooner wagon come out. They direct that around the stadium or around the field and go back in, and it's always good to see 7 points and see them come out of the tunnel.
Another part of the Sooner Nation is the Roughnecks, a spirit organization that started back in 1915.
Basically, what we are is a bunch of guys that are crazy fans for OU. We're in charge of doing the Sooner Schooner, shooting off the shotguns and just going crazy. We run the OU flag on the field over here and just have a lot of fun in the games, like to pump up the crowd and just get excited. I tell you what, it's one of the greatest feelings you can have. Not just the fact that we have an organization that gets to be on the field, but the fact that we do have an organization that's been around for 90 years. The tradition in that is just incredible, that we get to carry that on each year after another and represent, the great pride of Oklahoma, the Sooner football. Sooner Magic's just been in the air, and we get to be a part of it, and you just can't describe how cool that is.
The pride of Oklahoma Marching Band has been driving Sooner spirit for nearly a century.
1, 2, 3.
This is our 101st year on the University of Oklahoma campus. We celebrated our centennial last year. It started in 1904 with 15 student members and a part-time student band director. And as of now, I am the 5th full-time band director in 101 years. And we have 320 students majoring in 73 different academic fields. I was a freshman in this band 22 years ago. And I can remember every step I took on the field, my first time coming out in pregame, realizing that there were 70+ thousand fans, which, being from a town of about 10,000, was pretty amazing. Our drum major is the single most important student leader that we have. He leads the band on the field during our pregame show. He is the #1 spirit leader during the game, and that's what people have come to recognize as part of the pride of Oklahoma.
Our cheerleaders are impressive athletes. They are in great condition, physical condition, both the men and the women. They are required to perform gymnastic skills, tumbling skills, both standing and running. And some of them are very elite tumblers. We're gymnasts even as younger people. I was a part of this program as a spirit member back in the late 80s. And I've been involved with this program in some way ever since. So I've spent about half of my life doing this. Right before the game starts, our team has just run in, and you will hear just a thundering Boomer, Sooner from each side of the stands. And that's really one of the highlights for me, one of the great moments, just gearing up for the game. It's tough to be in the stadium when our crowd is just really into it.
When I hear that, you're going to see me waving my hands up and down, because I want to hear it some more. And the other team, when they hear it, they're like, what's going on?
We really believe that regardless of whether they have a championship or they have a trophy or a first place plaque, that isn't solely what's going to define the champion we believe we're trying to develop or the championship spirit we try to create. It comes from within.
Coming up on Fields of Glory, it's game day. Time for a huge Big 12 matchup in Norman, and there's only one place to be.
I have seen the last 316 consecutive OU games. That's how many that's been played since I've been here, probably as a record.
It's game day at OU, and the town of Norman is a sea of crimson and cream, and the atmosphere is electrifying hours before kickoff.
I think my first game was coming when I was on a high school football team when I was 14, so I'm just getting ready to turn 65, so do the math, and that's how long I've been coming.
The favorite part is when the margin of victory is on OU's side.
Big fans.
Big fans, OU right here, buddy. OU #1.
Oklahoma football is present in the fans' minds virtually 365 days a year. One would think they take a break somewhere, sometime, but they don't.
OU football fans, they're incredible. They go nuts, they're crazy, they cheer every time they can, no matter what.
It's always exciting coming out to play, coming down the ramp, knowing that you're, getting ready to compete for about 4 hours in front of 85,000 people and TV everywhere, and more than anything, just to compete. And so it's exciting to come running on the field. I always take a moment to check the crowd out and look at the press box, take in the moment for about all of 30 seconds or so, and then you put the headphones on and you get ready to go to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's football time in Oklahoma.
Coach Stoops is the best. He's, I think, born to be a football coach. He's one of those guys that makes a perfect football coach in that he played through the schools of hard knocks, and I think he was born and bred to be a coach.
My feeling is that great coaches are the right person for the job at the right time. I think Bud Wilkinson came along at the right time. I think Barry Switzer came along to Oklahoma at the right time. And I think that Bob Stoops is the next great Oklahoma football coach. Of course, the Sooners don't always win, but we always believe we will win.
He's a wonderful players coach. And I think that's why he's so successful, because he played the game. And he understands the outgoings and incomings, the ups and downs, and the flow of the game.
Coach Stoops and the staff he's put together is amazing. Support you in every single aspect of your life, whether it's academics, whether it's being on the field. Great person, great people. He's just put everything together perfectly for everybody to become what they want to be here.
It's really special to me. And then to have the opportunity to be here is really like almost like a dream come true.
Every Saturday out on Owens Field, the fans just go crazy. They really bring home what it means to be a Sooner. Some of the most loyal fans I've ever been around.
They're about winning. They want to see a good product on the field. They're always excited to be here to cheer us on, and that's what you want. You want fans that expect success and are always pushing for it.
Handoff goes to Peterson, left side, gets by one tackler, cuts at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Oklahoma.
If you were to watch some of the great OU moments, you might hear the band and the crowd and the students, the cheerleaders, all with their hands in the shape of the O, yelling, OU.
It's fun being here. It definitely gets loud. It's definitely a place that I would be intimidated to play in.
I find the stadium to be kind of the cathedral, if you will, of Norman. It's amazing, too, because I come and run stadium steps on the weekend, and people come from all over Oklahoma, and one place they want to make sure they see is Owen Field and that grass. And it's almost like they come in and genuflect, because it is like a cathedral here in Norman.
Kewan Jones at tailback. The turn, gets to Kewan right side. He goes in behind those blockers and scores. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Great block by James Moses.
Typically, the team over the years has played with a lot of confidence, even to the point of swashbuckling swagger from time to time. I think obviously winning and success creates that, and it's a pretty good thing to have on your side.
Back to the I formation. Man in motion from left to right. That's Finley. Bomar looking for Finley. Throws for him. Touchdown, Oklahoma. First one of the year. Joe John Finley got behind the cornerback, and with his height, 6'6", it was a great play and perfectly executed.
To me, it's the biggest thing going on in the state. I mean, OU football is it.
Football means something more to the people of Oklahoma than just an experience, some form of entertainment, or even a way to live vicariously through great players, great coaches, great teams. It is part of the fabric, part of the personality of people.
Oklahoma has their second victory, and many things accomplished this evening, including touchdown pass, but the biggest thing was the win, 43-21.
39 conference championships, 7 national championships is pretty special, and and that's what we pride ourselves on.
Sooners have always been one of the great programs in college football. You don't build it over a few wins, a few seasons, actually a few decades. You do it over decade after decade after decade. And since I know that when I coached here, we were the winningest team for the 16 years I was head coach, and I know that what Stoops has accomplished adds to that, and we continue to be one of those.
I take a great sense and pride in trying to build on a tradition in the history of the program, and fortunately we have to some degree, and hopefully we'll continue to build on those championship traditions in history.
For Fields of Glory, I'm Brent Musberger.
I can't really answer that. I really honestly do not know what a Sooner is. And I'm still trying to find out what a Sooner is. There's so many different answers I get from professors, and I mean, I haven't asked the coaches because.
Well, a Sooner is the people that came in for the land run. No. Steve, what's a Sooner? That's right. It's the people. It's the land run.
In the 19th century, 1889, again in 1893, the land runs of Oklahoma. This was Oklahoma. Most of Oklahoma was basically divided between Oklahoma Territory and Indian Territory, and they opened up through 2 land runs a good chunk of Indian Territory.
The Sooners comes from the land run of our state. They opened our state with a shotgun blast.
Basically, it was part track meet and part chariot race and part horse race, and just shoot a gun and off you go, and you go stake your land, and it's just wide open land, and who first one there gets to claim it.
And the people that left with the shotgun blast were called boomers, from the boom of the shotgun. And those that got in a little bit early, a little bit of a head start, those were the Sooners.
It's not the most regal of reputations.
The name Sooner, the name of the team, of course stems from the land run of 1889, in that under cover of darkness there were some rascals that tried to sneak in undetected by the military and stake a claim early. They were called Sooners, these wily rascals, and that name is unique to Oklahoma, as is the land run. And the name of the team is unique in all the world, Sooners.
The Sooners were the people who jumped the gun and got here early. You think with our modern technology how tough it would be to police an activity like that. Couldn't do it in 1889. You might be the fastest guy, you might have the fastest horse, speed a mile, and there's a guy that beat you there. How did he get there? Well, he's a Sooner. He jumped the gun. So that's where the term came from. And the Boomers were they were the people who sort of petitioned the government, sometimes through unscrupulous ways, to open the land and get it defederalized. So Boomer Sooner became sort of the catchphrase for this part of the country. And in time, Sooners sort of gave way. The stigma was lost. Although in the early days, you're better off calling somebody an SOB than calling them a Sooner. But eventually, Oklahomans embraced the name, and so that's what we are today. And
Sooner to me means to be the best you can be, to be the best athlete, to be the best student, to be the best person you can be. And that's what I'm still striving to be, is to become a complete Sooner.
It means to be a Sooner. It means that you gotta have the dedication to do whatever is asked of you. When you're out here, it's gonna be hot. You're gonna be tired. There's gonna be days where you get up, you're like, man, I don't want to go work out because I gotta go practice. We gotta run. We gotta do this. But in the end, you gotta think about the guys who were here before you. They've been through worse. And they persevered, and look what they're at. There's lots of guys here that have made it to the next level. Graduated, done their thing. So you gotta look at it like hard work is never gonna kill you. That's one thing that being a Sooner is all about. You're gonna work hard, you're gonna play hard, and you're gonna have fun, and that's what it's all about.
The coaches come and go, players come and go, championships come and go, and sometimes stay away for longer than people wish. But the fans stay. Oklahoma's a place where it's got a lot of people, majority of people, born and raised here. Their parents were born and raised here. They were raised on Oklahoma football. Like it or not, this is a place that started as a penal colony. Oklahoma was invented as a penal colony. Then came the Dust Bowl of the 30s, and the grapes of wrath, stigma, and people didn't have a good idea, didn't have a good image of Oklahoma, and Oklahomans often didn't have a good image of themselves. And along came Bud Wilkinson and a bunch of guys that could play football and could beat Notre Dame and beat Texas and go to the Orange Bowl and win. And people said, you know what, we're doing something right here. And then they that just took off from there. And today that sense of ownership remains. And from Wilkinson to Switzer to Stoops, it's a case where people really, they don't live through Oklahoma football, but their quality of life is enhanced by Oklahoma football. I mean, they really, a large part of their identity comes from the Sooner football team. Abner Norman got off the train and said, I think I'll put up some stakes in 1889, and there was Norman. They named it after Abner Norman right over here, not far from us, just off Main Street. So the school came along a year later, and football came along 5 years after that. And what people don't sometimes know, they think OU football started with Bud Wilkinson. Not only did the success start much earlier, really under Benny Owen, he came here in 1905, but the fervor and the passion for football was prevalent in the first decade of the 1900s. I mean, it was really, in some ways, it was more of a football town then than it is now, because even though everybody gets fired up about the Sooners now, really football was the central and sometimes the solitary entertainment in Norman. Well, I think Norman is one of those places that's not quite a suburb, not quite a small town, but it's all college town. It's a place that has really grown up around the university, doubled in size over the last 40 years, 35 years. Now is sort of, getting to be a place that operates independent of the college if it had to, but the university still is central to Norman and Norman's identity.
This is our 101st year on the University of Oklahoma campus. We celebrated our centennial last year. Started in 1904 with 15 student members and a part-time student band director. And as of now, I am the 5th full-time band director in 101 years. And we have 320 students. We have a fully instrumentated band. We have 34 flutes, 32 clarinets, 30 saxophones, 52 trumpets, 28 French horns, 27 trombones, 17 baritones, 25 tubas, and 38 percussion that make up our band, as well as 1 feature twirler, 1 drum major, and 28 members of our color guard. We feel that we have to be the single most important factor for rallying our fans, whether they be students or alums or anyone else. We have the single greatest ability to do that due to the sheer number of people that we have and the volume that we can produce. I would say we're one of the most involved fans in the game action. We pretty much play something after every play throughout the game to try to set the tone for our team, to let them know that they're being supported, to keep our fans involved, particularly when things aren't looking as good as they could. To try to get our team back in the game, and also to help celebrate the successes that we have. I was a freshman in this band 22 years ago, and I can remember every step I took on the field my first time coming out in pregame, realizing that there were 70,000+ fans. Which, being from a town of about 10,000, was pretty amazing, and realizing that I was a part of something much bigger than myself, representing our university and our state, and trying to do all I could to be a first-class ambassador.
when you score, you see the schooner wagon come out. They direct that around the stadium or around the field and go back in. And it's always good to see 7 points and see them come out of the tunnel.
When you hear that, you gotta look around. I still look around sometimes, you know, and when I'm out there on the field, you know, when I hear that, you're gonna see me waving my hands up and down, you know, because I want to hear it some more. And the other team, when they hear it, they're like, what's going on? They looking around, they're like, what's going on? Where are they yelling? You know, and that's one thing about Oklahoma I love. You know, when you hear Boomer Sooner, you know it's gonna go on.
mistakes in the kicking game, all these things are liable to occur. Well, we've got to be smart enough and believe in ourselves enough that regardless of these things happening, we're going to overcome them. And they can happen. They might start off this weekend against Baylor. The same things. You're going to get behind in the ball game. There's a chance Baylor will score the first time they get the ball. And if we're going to win that national championship and get that ring that Terry Webb wants and I want and every one of you want, people, there are going to be a lot of ups and downs during this season. It's going to take 11 weeks of things not going our way most of the time, and a lot of the time they will. Ups and downs. In every ball game and every practice. I believe we'll go out there and jump around and cut and slash and try to prove to everyone we've got a great football team. Y'all go do that and I'll keep worrying about it. All right, come on up here. And talk to the sophomores and the juniors. But playing the best of their abilities, those guys that never have another chance, seniors. There's been some great leaders and great players played here. Accomplished is about as much as you can expect. 3 Big 8 championships, lose 1 game in their career, opportunity today to win a national championship.
First of all, we have had great leadership the last 2 weeks. We've had players that want to win, that have emerged. I'm telling you, men, this is an all-time picture right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give the offensive team game balls. I'll tell you, I've been down 14-0 against Nebraska in the first half and come back and tie it 14-14 at the halftime and win the ball game the second half. We've done that a couple of times. Did that in 1980 up there. They led us 14-0. We came back and won the ball game. Several times. 1974, win a national championship. They go ahead 14-7. And they miss a field goal, and we go 3 straight 80-yard drives on them to win it 28-14. So what happens, I'm telling you, regardless of what happens early in the ball game, it is a 60-minute ball game. Things can happen. You've got to keep your poise, be intelligent. Things can go our way, too. Just keep hanging in there and doing what we tell you to do. Play with a lot of pride and effort. The weather is not a factor. It's the wind is a factor. The weather isn't. Once you guys get out there, let adrenaline flow and jumping around, knocking the hell out of each other, you forget about those things. You don't even think about the weather. You know what? If Iowa State beats them and we beat Nebraska, you know where we're going? Orange Bowl, Miami. It's all over with. Just like that.
I would say more than anything, championships. When you look at our tradition, our history, that's what it's been about. When you look through Coach Wilkinson, through Coach Switzer, and 39 conference championships, 7 national championships is pretty special, and and that's what we pride ourselves on. Well, traditionally, what we have had is hard-working guys that are tough, that are physical. Normally athletic in the way we run, and speed has always been something that we've stressed here through the years, and not just with our teams, but you go back through the years, but more than anything, I think toughness and playing physical and having an attitude. They're about winning. They want to see a good product on the field. They're always excited to be here to cheer us on, and that's what you want. You want fans that expect success and are always pushing for it. Uh, 84 plus, almost 85,000 people. It was great excitement, expecting to win, which you appreciate. You want a crowd that expects success, and because they help you expect it as well. So they're always behind us, and it's a great venue to have a game, and always exciting here. Well, it's always exciting coming out to play, coming down the ramp, knowing that you're, getting ready to compete for about 4 hours in front of 85,000 people and TV everywhere, and more than anything just to compete. And so it's exciting to come running on the field. I always take a moment to check the crowd out and look at the press box, take in the moment for about all of 30 seconds or so, and then you put the headphones on and you get ready to go to work. It's really special to me. I grew up all the way in Ohio. Always loved watching Oklahoma play. Loved the time Coach Switzer and all his championships. I loved the style, the great players, the wishbone, the way they competed on defense. You know, just always admired and watched them from afar. And then to have the opportunity to be here is really like almost like a dream come true, in that you've got such a special place to coach at with such a great tradition. And so I take a great sense and pride in trying to build on the tradition in the history of the program. And fortunately we have to some degree, and hopefully we'll continue to build on those championship traditions in history. The University of Oklahoma is as a university, is about a really commitment to excellence. President Boren, we have an incredible president that really expects that and demands that from everybody throughout the university, a commitment to excellence and doing the very best you can, and continuing to grow as a program and improve as a university. It's a great university town that really embraces the university, has a great commitment to the university, and has excitement that surrounds not only our program but all of our sports programs and the university as a whole. Well, you see a lot of friendly people here who are willing to share with you. People that are very welcoming, will share a million stories about what's happened here at Gaylord Memorial Stadium, and that are excited, excited to see you, usually treat you really well, and even if you're the opponent, and will show you a great time and be excited to spend the afternoon with you.